and you're chastising me because, like, I could whoop your ass. I could just fuck you up.
I can't believe it. He is calling me out and exposing my evil plan that chastises MGTOW. Yes, I am Darth Criticis, the Dark Lord of different opinions. Beware of my great power of criticism. I have the power to trigger the ones you love with my evil opinions. I know it's horrible. How dare I disagree with people? At last, the anti-MGTOW will reveal ourselves as evil agents of the gynocentric empire that are taking orders from our Empress. Our mission is to execute Order 69 and destroy masculinity in men and slander all the MGTOW haters. Good morrow, ladies and gents. It is I, the Crimson Crusader, the Dark Lord of the Anti-MGTOW Sith. Today, I'm going to respond to a MGTOW video created by MGTOW YouTuber Tru Sherm called A Message to Anti-MGTOWs, which responds to my channel introduction video. Don't worry, Tru Sherm, have I got a message for you too. Instead of responding to my points on that video, you slander and demonize me as some sort of enemy against men. And I want to make it clear that I'm here to defend myself from this bullshit through satirizing and criticizing your attitudes, actions, and arguments towards the anti-MGTOW community and myself. I don't hate you, Tru Sherm. I just hate the lies and bitter attitudes that many MGTOWs seem to be spreading across the internet. I will be playing clips and paraphrasing arguments to keep this video short, and if I misunderstand something, feel free to let me know, Tru Sherm. Now, while watching this video, I want you, my viewers, to pay close attention to the attitude of MGTOW, because this really reveals the true colors of some of these people in the MGTOW movement. With that being said, let's get into this video. So, Tru Sherm, you start this video off by rambling for a whole minute about how you were going to do a video about your first love, but because it ended badly and it's bullshit, you're not going to talk about it. Then after that, you talk about how your only reason for being in MGTOW is letting experiences like this go. First of all, I completely agree with you that people should move on and not obsess over and dwell on the past, if that is what you're saying. However, I don't think it's bullshit to talk about your past experiences because in some cases it can actually be very helpful. By discussing and analyzing the past, we can identify problems and learn from our experiences to avoid those dangers so we can live a happier and healthier life. For example, technicians analyze the history of machines' behavior to assist their diagnosis and solve a problem. Historians analyze the past to learn about the mistakes of other people, and they get further context into understanding the present. So it makes sense that we should look at our past and see what we can do better to avoid the same problems so that we don't repeat them again in the future, whether it's fixing ourselves or avoiding toxic people. Talking about our negative experiences can be a way of releasing our bitter emotions. And also, if you value your privacy, talks like this should be kept private. This should be a discussion, your discussion about your private relationships should be discussed with a trustworthy individual rather than sharing it on the internet. Also, if it is bullshit to talk about failed relationships, then you are admitting that MGTOW videos that bring up their past experiences with women to teach men a lesson are bullshit then. You have just undermined your own position that supports MGTOW. You've just undermined the MGTOW movement in a way. But hey, I'm glad we agree on something because most of those videos talking about past experiences with women are bullshit. Because that personal experience is not conclusive proof that women are hypergamous and all this other MGTOW nonsense that I'm not going to talk about in this video. Now, when I'm talking about the past, I am referring to past relationships. I'm not saying you think that studying history is useless, but I'm trying to illustrate how studying our past relationships can be helpful, just like how you would analyze the history of something else. I am trying to demonstrate how the history of anything can have practical application. Moving on, I don't see how letting stuff go is a valid or even a real reason for being MGTOW. In reality, MGTOW doesn't really do anything in assisting you with coping with relationships. Instead, a majority of the MGTOW content just dwells on the problems that are oppressing men, such as female nature, gynocentrism, the court system, and etc. MGTOW is bitching about these so-called problems. Now, instead of finding solutions, MGTOW seems to be bitching about these problems, as I said before, and they feel like they are not going to be changed. This leads men to believe in fatalism, this idea that things are out of their control. Rather than creating hope for men, MGTOW is creating despair. So instead of aligning with MRAs who are actually trying to reform the system, MGTOW is just escaping things rather than addressing real issues. If you agree that dwelling on the past is a waste of time, why waste your time in a movement that does exactly what you're against? Now, if someone wants to get over their bad experiences with women in relationships, there are better alternatives than going MGTOW for dealing with such a situation. Instead, people should be seeking professional help rather than surfing the internet for answers from questionable sources. I would recommend talking to a pastor, counselor, or a trustworthy individual to help address these problems and to hear a fresh and independent perspective rather than becoming more radical by listening to people that validate your feelings.
Is I'm going to talk about this guy named Crimson Crusader. Because this guy believes that he could take a crusade to who I am as a fucking man.
So then he claims my best method for accomplishing this is chastising men instead of talking with them, and he accuses me of doing all this other bullshit. Right. Well, it's pretty obvious that you don't understand the anti-MGTOW position when you are clearly strawmanning me. It makes no sense for me as a man to attack other men personally because it doesn't align with my values or my main mission of helping men. In fact, anti-MGTOW is man's #1 ally as we are trying to help men by encouraging them to leave or not to join counterproductive and irrational movements such as MGTOW. My goal is to deter more men from joining MGTOW by debunking the MGTOW's fallacious arguments through my criticism. I am not here to attack men. I know that many MGTOW will deny the facts instead of being rational, which is why criticizing MGTOW as a way to get men to leave MGTOW is not my goal. Rather, it is much more effective to contain the spread of this MGTOW pathogen by reducing the growth of the MGTOW cancer by exposing the true colors of this disgusting and despicable movement. Before you assume what I believe in, actually listen to my video. Also, don't preach to me about having a conversation when you are instead jumping to conclusions, which shows how you struggle to listen to other opinions. For me, this isn't anything personal, but rather an intellectual debate between two groups with differing perspectives, which is why I only go after people's arguments. The fact that you are taking this personally illustrates how many MGTOW can't have a rational conversation without getting emotional, which just shows how hypocritical you are acting. Also, how do you know I don't have other conversations with other MGTOW? Is it because I'm anti-MGTOW? In fact, I have had many conversations with other MGTOW, and from time to time I talk with other MGTOW on their Discord server. Now, although we have a lot of disagreements on that server, we both understand at the end of the day, anti-MGTOW is not out to get men, but rather is a group of people who have a different perspective. Also, what bullshit am I doing? It is clear you are making false assumptions and accusations as you don't even bother to respond to my actual points, and you fail to provide any evidence or use logic to support your arguments. I recommend you watch my video again before you do something that you're going to regret.
I don't understand about what you motherfuckers don't understand about this.
Oh, this just escalated quick, folks. Really, people are motherfuckers for not agreeing with or understanding your perspective. If you can't accept that other people are going to disagree with you without using shaming language such as calling my whole community motherfuckers, then it's clear you either don't have an argument or the truth is triggering you. MGTOW is supposed to be against men being shamed, but they shame men with different opinions. Sorry, your shaming language isn't convincing anyone, and it just shows how intolerant and disrespectful many MGTOW are in this toxic community. What's funny is how you continue to expose your own hypocrisy. You are accusing me of chastising men, yet you have no problem chastising and shaming me. What happened to having a discussion? I thought MGTOW understands and supports men's freedom. I guess that's bullshit too, because it seems MGTOW doesn't allow freedom of thought, and many can't fathom that, oh God, someone doesn't understand your fallacious arguments. Get off your high horse and learn to treat other people with respect.
MGTOW is not a movement. is more or less a philosophy, is more or less a response. It's not a reverse feminism. It's not anything else. It's not hatred for women. I'm tired of that fucking bullshit. Because I don't hate women. Simply because I don't want to date them or marry them.
You have no idea what you're even talking about. How can MGTOW be a response and a philosophy at the same time? A philosophy is an objective concept, dude. A philosophy is a system of thinking, while a response is subjective. A response is a reaction to something which is affected by emotion. If these are both true, then you are admitting MGTOW is emotional and anti-individualistic, which further proves how anti-MGTOW is the obvious choice. However, MGTOW is a movement because this is a group of people under the label MGTOW who are going their own way from relationships. A movement doesn't have to be organized. It is simply a group of people with similar objectives, and that is MGTOW. MGTOW is a group of men under this label that are avoiding long-term relationships because to them the most important thing is themselves and their ability to do whatever they want. To secure that, MGTOW avoid long-term relationships to escape the oppression of the state, society, and sex, which is impossible or unlikely to reform. The reasons may differ, but that is what MGTOW truly is. I feel bad for all the people who liked and believed in this video because they are being misinformed. And anyways, MGTOW is so individualistic and there are so many different perspectives on this same topic that to just say, oh, there's just one system of thinking that we all believe in is just bullshit. It's nonsense. Even worse, you continue to chastise me and you don't even bother to explain what MGTOW believes in. So instead of trying to inform me and encourage conversation, it just seems you are attempting to disparage me by trying to create flaws in my arguments to validate your own views, even when these flaws don't exist. And it's just really sad. Also, stop strawmanning me again. I never said MGTOW is reverse feminism. I said in some ways MGTOW is similar to feminism. The reason I say that MGTOW is like feminism is because I am trying to break this illusion that MGTOW is perfect, or I am sometimes emphasizing the flaws that exist in the MGTOW community, such as the amount of emotion rather than logic in MGTOW. This analogy is a creative and engaging way to make a point. The fact that you are getting so triggered and emotional to the facts and logic that I am presenting to you just proves my point of how MGTOW is like feminism in some ways. I never said MGTOW is just hatred for women either. I said that the MGTOW community's attitudes and treatment leads to more gender division, which could lead to both genders hating each other.
Okay? I don't hate women. Nobody's going around hating women. Okay, I realize that women are capable of amazing things, and I will give credit where credit is due.
Furthermore, in other videos, I said that there is a lot of hatred for women in the MGTOW community, which creates a toxic community. It is insane to deny this because I see MGTOW hate comments and videos all the time. When you have people making videos calling all women whores and etc., it calls into question the integrity of your community. Is this something that a healthy and sane individuals want to even be part of? I'm sorry, but no one wants to be infected by a toxic community that goes ree. Now, furthermore, I never said men are haters for not wanting to marry or date women. See, this is another common mistake MGTOW make. They try to equate anti-MGTOW with anti-bachelor, which is just a lazy argument. I'm supportive of men who want to be single if they are choosing the Latin lifestyle for the right reasons. The only thing I am against is MGTOW because it promotes and is encouraging most men to go single. Such an idea is insane considering that without families, civilization cannot continue to exist. A child that is not raised by both a mother and father is going to have difficulties. An example of this is single mothers who are raising kids whose fathers left them. Those kids are more likely to go to jail. Whether MGTOW want to accept this or not, some men do have some degree of responsibility for this terrible situation, such as that case. Now, I am not excusing women either, but MGTOW does seem to point the finger at women a lot, instead of looking at themselves in the mirror. Now, let me explain to you what anti-MGTOW is, because it seems you still don't get the memo. Anti-MGTOW is a movement of social activists that cautiously reject the false teachings of MGTOW, and they fight to end its current existence because MGTOW is bullshit, toxic, and self-destructive. And now these are my main 3 reasons why I'm anti-MGTOW, and people have their others, but these are the most common ones you're going to see. Now, we do have a philosophy, but again, not everyone believes in it. Now, I need to keep this video short, but if you want to learn more about my philosophy, I encourage you to watch my International Anti-MGTOW Day video so you can learn more about what our philosophy exactly is. Now, also, if you are admitting women are capable of great things, then you are admitting women have the free will to treat a man with respect. So why are you going MGTOW when there's a possibility of being able to find a good woman to marry? It amazes me how people can make a 26-minute long video and completely strawman your points. The demonization and disrespectful language makes me wonder if we can ever have a civil discussion in the future. Alright, I'm going to end this video here, folks, because I think we all need to take a break from hearing this bullshit. I was going to respond in one video, but I realized it would be too long and I wouldn't want to torture you guys with such nonsense. Instead, I'm going to split up my response into a series of videos so we can have time to recover from this crippling depression we just experienced from listening to these atrocious arguments. Tru Sherm is not a horrible person, and I respect the passion he is putting into this video, but being disrespectful and kind of aggressive really isn't helping anyone. Let's hope Tru Sherm redeems himself in the next part with actual logic and facts. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this content, give it a like. If you support the Anti-MGTOW cause, or you are just interested in hearing other perspectives, consider subscribing to my channel and clicking the notification bell so you can get the latest updates on my most recent content. You can also follow me at Crimson Crusader as well. And tell me, what do you think about Tru Sherm's attitude? Is he being respectful and understanding to people with different opinions? Was I too harsh on him? Or do you think I was a little too soft? Let me know in the comments below. My fair ladies and honorable gents, fare thee well.